Welcome to the Week 4 Nffl presser. This is your boy Ceedeez Golden Penix. Gotta specify. Quite a bit of drama here in the league this week. We'll get into that. We'll start off with some good news. No drinks. I didn't have to pay anybody for lowest scorer. I didn't have any zeros in the lineup, so we're doing okay. Didn't win, but we did put up. It's not even really a fight. I think we lost by like 30 or 40, but we scored 140 points. Really not terribly too mad about it, to be honest. All right, let's get into it. So Goff, a little 12.72. Mariota, 16.24. Monty didn't show up, 1.2. It did not seem like he could get going. They knew exactly what was going to happen. Anytime Monty was on the field, it was going to be a run. So that just kind of was, kind of putting Monty in a box, which they've always done, but the defense picked up on it pretty quickly. Javonte Williams, 17.5, just chugging along, man. I think he's had one bad week against like a really stout defense, like maybe Denver or somebody like that. I can't remember, but where he scored like 10 points, 9.8 or something like that. Outside of that, he's like 16 or something plus, so really doing well. Golden, 8.8, kind of had to play him. I didn't have to, but I didn't see much else going on. Q, 19.8, just chugging along. He's a monster this year. So I think he's got like 4 touchdowns through 4 weeks. He's got like a billion targets, but all of the Chargers have a ton of targets. Even Ladd, who's not caught a single fucking... Actually, he might have 1 touchdown, but just not doing very well. Brian Thomas Jr., just chugging along at like 8 points. If that's what he's going to be, that's what he's going to be. He's going to be a flex guy, which really sucks. We've got Juwan Johnson, 4.3. Came back down to earth. He caught all 3 of his targets. It was only like 20 or 30 yards, but, you're not going to, he's not going to get you 12, 13 points every week. He was a waiver wire. Let's be honest. I picked up Goddard, which, he's only trending up. Juwan Johnson is only trending down throughout the first 4 weeks of the year. So, he may have just been a really quick Band-Aid for Kittle. No good news on Kittle. I think he's going to be out for another couple weeks. So, need a rotation of guys who can fill in and do a job, pull up some points. Got Kamara, 9.2. I think he had like 72 yards or 78 yards or something. He had a good amount of yards for a starting running back. Just couldn't find his way into the end zone. He just seems like he's getting a lot of the, outside the 20s touches. He's just getting, third down back type shit. Or the 1 and 2 down back type shit. And then, just they're throwing it, they're not finding the end zone, they're punting it, they're kicking field goals. They're just, it's bad offense. They're not going to score a lot of points every week. So I just kind of figured Kamara, with the limited options that they have in that offense, that Kamara would just be a little bit more pass heavy like he was last year. I don't know. Just he's getting used in a little bit different ways. He's getting older, showing some age. There's a couple running backs in the league showing their age this year. Lions, great pickup on that defense. Got 23 points. Realistically, will they get 23 points every weekend? Hell no. But can I get 9 to 11 points out of them? I think so. I think I can get 9 to 11 out of the Lions every week. I think they had a really bad week 1 where they just got blown the fuck out by Green Bay. And they've been on chugging along since, like 11 points, 13 points. 23 points. They're just doing pretty well. So I think I'm going to keep with the Lions for a bit. Prater, 7 points. Just that's like kind of minimum of what you want to see from a kicker. Most kickers, I would say that would be like one step above that would be the 10-pointers, the guys who can get you like 10 points. Like 9 is a bad week for them. Prater's gotten a couple of lower ones, 7 and 8s, and I don't know. I can't pick up a kicker that would give me 12 plus 10 points or more. Actually, I think this week when he got me 7 was the highest points I've gotten out of a kicker this season. So, got to do better. I don't know. Just picked up Jake Bates, hoping he's high flying this year. He's doing well. We're getting big on the special team rotation off waiver wire. So getting it fun early. Bjorkes. I don't even know how to say his name, but he got me 12. So really happy with that. Nice little punter action. Can't be mad. Goodert, 17.7. Like I said, I picked him up. He might find his way into the lineup this week. I don't know. Johnson and Goddard are both injured or questionable at the moment, so we will see which one is healthy. I don't love Goddard's matchup this week against Denver or stout defense of some kind. Johnson's definitely playing a lot easier of a team, but who knows? I think I trust Goddard because they have not thrown the ball in that offense. Somehow they found a way to throw it less than they did last year, and Goddard's done pretty well every game he's played. So as long as he can stay healthy, he is, a pretty decent tight end type of guy. Penix, 18.72, had another good outing. He's had a couple good outings. He's had a couple really trash outings. Not something I can really trust, but he's on a bye this week, so you can't use him this week. Hopefully he can get his mind right, figure it out, and it's pretty obvious he could do pretty well against a below average team, and he struggles against an above average team. So got to keep that in mind for the future. Pittman, 12.3 points. Pittman just chugging along is like the wide receiver 1 on the Colts there. They've got a lot of mouths to feed, but I think they also have a couple of injuries. Honestly, right now, I think Josh Downs is out or hurt or something along those lines. I think they've got one other guy. What's his name? Another white dude. But he's injured or hurt or questionable or doubtful or whatever it is. So I don't know. JT, Jonathan Taylor, is just chugging along, being the number 2 RB this year so far. So as long as they can keep that run game going, the pass game is going to come along. They're going to be able to take advantage at some points. And Pittman has been a number 1 wide receiver before. He could be it again. There's just a lot of mouths to feed in that offense, kind of like Golden's offense with the Packers. There's just got a lot of mouths to feed over there. Really good running back play. And then, every single one of their wide receivers is not the best at their position, but they're like pretty dang good at all of them, So, goes to show what type of offense you want to run, but it's just not the best for fantasy. Pittman's been able to kind of shine so far throughout the first couple weeks, but we shall see how he bears here coming up in the next couple of weeks. He might find his way into the lineup. I think he's questionable now, so we'll see. It's Thursday Night Football. Got some shit going on. You've heard me ramble for quite some time. I will briefly address the drama I mentioned earlier in the presser. I'm going to try to get out of every fine, ever. Just know that up front. If I'm getting fined, I'm going to try to get out of it. I made the mistake earlier this year, week 1, when I was lowest scorer and I was penalized, and I paid that fine without actually having to or needing to. And that was Owen and Jackson. Got me on that one. So, I normally, even in past years, I've always been very defensive. I'm going to continue to be the same way. This is a fantasy league. It's fantasy. So I'm going to take it to extremes that we wouldn't do in real life. I'm going to be completely unreasonable and unruly at most times. That's kind of how I find fun in this. But I do apologize a little bit over the line there. Got a little crazy. At first, I didn't even think it was, I had broken a rule. Didn't realize it, didn't read the rule. Once I had read the rule, I was like, no, that doesn't apply to this. Like, we had made it for a completely different situation. I wasn't taking advantage. Nobody was at a disadvantage. Like, he was a backup. Like, it just, in my mind, it wasn't even how we had written it, to be fair. I never even looked at it after we had voted on it, so I didn't know how it was written. I went and read it real quick. I was like, no. Of course, I wasn't thinking about it really. I'm at work. Just read it real quick. So the first time, pretty stupid. I was trying to get out of shit. Of course, I'm like, I'm gonna leave the league. Good luck getting the money. I'm gonna do that almost every time. I've done it for like 3 years straight. I've never left the league. I've never been actually terribly too mad at anybody. So I did, went over the line, went a little far. I got a little hectic yesterday, but I was also just kind of bored at work. I was working the afternoon. I had like nothing to do. Spent a couple hours trying to, work a way around it, weasel my way out of it, try to find a way to break the rule. Obviously, was not privy to the ESPN settings, but I don't know. I was stupid. Didn't realize. Trying to come up with shit, got caught. Tried to weasel my way out of it. Still didn't work very well. I had no real ground to stand on. I wasn't really mad, maybe for like 5 or 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes or whatever at the beginning. I truly thought it was like just Jackson and Owen saying some shit, trying to, get me to do another fine that I didn't have to do or manipulate a rule. It is a technicality. I think we should bring it up next year because, it didn't put me at an advantage. It didn't put anybody else at a disadvantage, like how the rule was, created for, like the situation in which the rule was created for. But, fair be it. Rules are on the website. You gotta follow them. Also, scrolling. Yeah, you gotta figure that out too. Trying to pick the rule part once I knew I was out, just trying to get out of it, and didn't realize you had to scroll like another page down and all fines or blah blah blah, penalties, double or whatever. But so I was trying to weasel my way out of it. I do what I do, but never had really any crazy intentions of doing anything ever. We're all friends. It's fancy. It's not something crazy. But, I was trying to rile people up. I guess I did slightly too good of a job. Took it over the line. So again, apologize. But, I don't know. See if we can get a win against the guy we had some beef with last week. Maybe creating some in-league drama. I think he already has his rivalry with Mikey for sure. And I don't really know who mine is. Maybe Alex. But it'll be fun to see who wins. The really, really shitty team or the team who I think he's 3-1. I think he's 3-1. I think we're all like 1-3 or 3-1 or 0-4 and 4-0. So it's interesting how the league is shaping up. But you guys heard me ramble for way too long. I've addressed all the things I need to. Took it over the line. Apologize. Already said my things. We made up. We kissed. We're friends again. He can sit on my lap whenever he wants. Yeah, peace out, homies.